I'm gonna go Fruity's man.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punches? When I was hitting him with body punches, and I heard him actually he was crying there. You were saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
DPLC Productions.
Making women's gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ.
Welcome back. Good morning, TBV, and welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. It is Friday, weigh-in day, beating the odds with TBV day, Patreon only. It's time to get some money, but early in the morning, we're here to talk Canelo, we're here to talk Jacobs, and we're here to compare those two DAZN press conferences to each other. Anthony Joshua versus Big Baby Miller, and Daniel Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez. Which one had more of a promotional push? Which one had more obvious dollars pushed into it or poured into it to, I don't know, attract more U.S. subscribers? But we're here to compare the events. Even though it's slightly unfair since Daniel Jacobs and Canelo have not finished. They have two more cities to go to. But this is what we're going to talk about. We have another show as well coming up. Hopefully we could get it done. We were supposed to do two yesterday. Well, we did do two. We were supposed to go for, well, we did do three. We were supposed to go for four. We did do Patreon. We did do morning show, and we did do flagship. So we were trying to sneak in a fourth one. That's what it was. So today, maybe we sneak that fourth one in for you guys. But as you know, I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. It is the morning show. I'm going to head on out to our cast of hosts hailing from around the globe and get this thing started.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
I've been doing this. I ain't been up and fell off. I've been through the Lennox Lewis era, the Nassim Hamed era, the Sugar Shane Moses era, the Oscar De La Hoya era, Marquez Hunter era. I've been through all the eras, and I still been telling.
How much you talk? You do too much talk. The thing is this.
People want their subjective preference to be the objective reality.
HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yo. We're going to look into this a little bit. Canelo, Jacobs, New York press conference compared to Anthony Joshua, Miller press conference in New York. Of course, we haven't finished our Canelo Jacobs. They're going to Mexico, I think, in California. But, you know, I think it's an early assessment to kind of go, you know, already know where this Canelo Jacobs press conference could already go at. So at this point, we're going to see Canelo, Anthony Joshua, maybe who's the bigger star, maybe more attraction, the better vibe, more media, what had more attention. I mean, we'll just break all this down and what you guys thought was more entertaining. So, but we're going to pass the ball on to the other co-hosts, and we have a special guest that we're also going to have on the show and do some interviews. Fun.
It's me, Mario.
What up? Yo, yeah, this is a perfect topic to have Ron in the building, Ness in the building, because they can give us firsthand, their firsthand opinions. Their opinions are going to count a little more than us. But at the same time, Mike, myself, Suki, we're going to have, I think, like a really good perspective from the outside of it. You know what I mean? To be able to see what came across, because while Ron and Ness can talk about the validity of being there and you know, who had the better snacks and, you know, who gave the better accounting and interviews and who was more open and who was more available and who gave what, we can sit here and tell y'all what resonated. And I think what resonated the most was Joshua. I really do. I think that even though Canelo and Jacob seem to be getting most of the inches out there, I think that Joshua definitely stole the show. So we'll talk about it. We'll break it all up.
So let's go to Suki G. Looks like Mike's away. Suki, what up? You're muted, Suki.
Yeah,
Yes, God, Team Fury.
I'm back on that. Yeah, round 3 for me, guys. Yeah, very interesting subject. Something that I can probably get my teeth into as well. Be very interesting, like Mario said about you two guys that were at the press conferences and what you guys thought and what we saw as viewers. I've got my opinions. Be nice to see what you guys thought and the guys watching.
All right, so we're gonna go to Mike, who seems to be ready.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and missed. 2 to stand over.
Turn up.
Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million.
And I'm in.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yo, man. I just want to point out, you know what I'm saying, the morning that your boy here on time and shit, my intro always get played last, you know what I'm saying? And I don't like that disrespect, you feel me? But it is what it is. But when I'm not here, some reason my intro get played first. Hold on, you had your time to speak. You had your intro. You had your intro, nigga. It's my turn. Big ups to everybody out here in the chat. Jay Clearly, Deej, my guy Fanboy Killer, Fat Apples. I know you in here. Wayne, I know you in there.
Man,
big ups to everybody out there in the chat, man. But yeah,
what's up, the Fanboy Killer?
Nigga, can I get my motherfucking intro, or do you always gotta walk over my intro, man? What's going on? I know your intro not as lit as mine, and it never will be, but we're getting there. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you some things one day. Bro, you had a whole monologue. What you talking about?
But I don't have like you guys got personalized MP3 introductions. Ness don't get that.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Right, well, up your TBV intro then.
Yo, we fired Khan.
We all get better.
We all get better. Khan. Ha ha.
We fired the king. We fired the king.
Nah. He's running late.
Okay. But yeah, man. When Ness told me to hey, he wanted to do a show on Jacobs and AJ Presser, I was just like, for real? Huh?
That's what I'm saying. Why y'all feel like that? Like, why is Canelo Jacobs?
Can I have my intro, bro?
Oh, I thought
we'll get to the show.
I thought it was already us chopping.
Now I was just like, no, I was like, huh? But me being me, I'm about that action, boss. And Jacobs and Canelo Presser was just a little bit too respectful, even though Canelo said some things that I did like. I just think the AJ and Miller first press conference was the shit. Well, we'll break it down and we'll get into it. Big ups to everybody out there and to TBV universe. Let's go.
Oh shit! Shout out to LeBron James. He said they play Milwaukee tonight, so he got to go practice. He can catch the show later. That's dope.
Big up LBJ.
I wonder if that's the real one. I ain't gonna check if it's the real one. I'm gonna just go ahead and act like it's the real.
Don't even matter. We got LeBron in the audience.
Why would it matter? Why would it matter? Because look, even if it's not the real one, it was still someone that woke up this morning, decided to make a fake account, faking like it was LeBron, to come on the Boxing Voice to let us know that he's listening, but he got to train. I like that.
Yes, sir.
Well, all I know is somebody told me yesterday that we made a point on the show during the morning show, and Stephen A. Smith, you literally like jacked the exact same point we were making for the Spence fight. So I think he watching too and taking notes.
What'd he say?
Man, you know, it was my brother who had told me about it, and I don't really listen to him half the time, but he had told me, he's like, yo, did you hear Stephen A? I was like, nah. He was like, yo, he copied. I think it was Ron. Said something about the fight.
Ron when it comes to you, bro. How'd I know he was gonna go with Ron, right, Mike?
I didn't say that shit. My brother can call in. My brother's probably listening right now at the shop. Yo, Ryan, you there? Call in. You tell me who you said it was. He said it was Ron. I didn't say shit.
I wrote it back for him real quick.
So all right.
Let's start with Suki and Mike and Mario, because me and you went to both press conferences. So let's get their, I guess, takes and or slight comparisons. Remember, Canelo Jacobs isn't over where Big Baby and AJ Suki's gone. It's on you, Mario and Mike.
Go. Okay, I'll take this.
Suki, go ahead, Suki.
Go ahead, Suki. We'll let you roll.
Like I said, they're both very, very different press conferences. For me, I preferred the Miller AJ one. I think Miller missed a bit of a trick by walking out. He walked out of the press conference. He had control of that press conference. Until he walked out, and then he gave AJ the ground to regroup and just take control of the floor, basically, by hanging back, answering questions, telling Eddie Hearn, hold on. You knew he was bossing that press conference as soon as Miller walked out. But up until then, I think Miller had his number, made him feel really uncomfortable.
Well, I'll go ahead, Mike.
I would say to Suki point, man, you can see the AJ and Miller press conference, like it was kind of going back and forth, like what guy had the momentum, which guy wasn't, you know what I'm saying, pushing the pace or what was in charge. But when it comes to the Canelo and Jacobs press conference, it just seems to me Daniel Jacobs is like kind of stuck in the moment, you know what I'm saying, with all the things going on. See him before the presser, he playing If I Rule the World, even though I love the song. And I just, the mindset, I just feel like Canelo is just like all about business. Like even when he's talking about winning. He's talking about getting Jacobs.
It's so hard not to cut people off. What the fuck do you mean by his mindset ain't right because he listening to Nas? Come on, man.
I didn't say his mindset. I said he's stuck in the moment. Stuck in the moment.
Like it's too big for him, you're saying?
Listen, not the fact that he's too big for him, but nigga, can I speak? Goddamn.
Words of the song. I don't get it. Like you interpreting it, but not listening to the words of the song.
I'm saying it seems to me like he's happy that he's there. He's stuck in the moment.
Like
he's
too happy.
First time on a big stage. Like he
got it.
It just seems like he's
first time on a big stage. Oh, you disrespectful.
No, not the first time on the big stage, but this is the
first
biggest
time
stage,
on a big
right?
stage. Fuck that. First time on a big stage.
Triple G wasn't a big stage.
Pay-per-view. Get the fuck out of here.
That was a big stage. I wouldn't say it's
Canelo is a big stage.
To this shit. Yo, if HBO is a big stage, no matter what you say.
Canelo's a whole nother step.
I was rocking with Mike up until that point.
Not a whole nother step.
Yeah, he is definitely. But I'll put it to you like this: if you look at Canelo and Jacobs, that looked like a boxing press conference, like any other boxing press conference. To be honest with you, in fact, they were saying a lot of the same things that they've said at other boxing press conferences. Don't get me wrong; we got some stories from those press conferences. But when you look at AJ and Miller, that was an extravaganza. That was an event. That came off like wrestling. I'm giving props to Miller too. What are you talking about? It wasn't two UK guys. Listen, this was an extravaganza. It felt like an event. These two guys, look, I love wrestling, and this is what it seemed like. This is the aspect I love about wrestling, where it's like this, man, I think Suki said it or Mike said it best. It was momentum going back and forth. And there was just like this I don't know. It was just this fire in both of them, and they were both trying to grab the spotlight from each other, but they were doing it with their body language and their words, and it just felt like something was going to happen at every single moment you were watching. Maybe not every single moment, but it just felt big. Now, I will admit that Jacobs and Canelo, there were a lot better storylines that came out of it. There were a lot better, quotes that came out of it, a lot of headlines, a lot of them that Ron himself actually got. And, they gave credit too, so that was good. But I think that when you look at what Canelo and Jacobs brought to the table, ultimately, it didn't make anyone – I don't think it added to it at all. I really don't. I think if you were excited before, you're just excited now. Maybe a little bit more, but I don't think it drew anybody like Miller and Joshua. If somebody who wasn't a fan saw that, I think they're excited for the fight.
Yeah, Mario, do you think
that
the Canelo fight sells itself, doesn't it? Canelo sells himself, yeah.
Yes, sir.
AJ's press conference is completely different to any press conference he's had previously.
And back to my point.
They got to sell him in America.
I think the AJ and Miller press conference had more antics. You had Miller slapping the table. You had the U.S. media actually getting 30 to 40 minutes extra with AJ. That opened up a little insight on AJ. With Canelo and Jacobs, it's just like those guys were there and they were gone. So,
all right.
Same on.
How are you, like, Mario? I just want to go back to you because you rambled the longest. So, like, how are you, like, gauging it? Like, what are you, what are you using to compare the two? Is it like what the media got out of the fighters, what the fighters gave on stage? Like, it's kind of hard to see how what sort of quantification you're using to say, oh, there was so much more in the AJ Miller one than the Canelo one. And then you went almost as far as saying like Canelo Jacobs was kind of what normally happens, where AJ Miller had you on pins and needles.
Okay, look, the way I quantified it, which is I'm sure how everyone except for you and Ron quantified it, was the clips that we see on YouTube, the stories that we got out of it. Like, I don't understand how you're asking me. I think what you're confused by is how I arrived to that point. And the way that I arrived to that point is that when I'm watching, and the way that I gauge it, I'm watching Canelo and Jacobs. It looks like every other press conference. I mean, not every other press conference, but it looks like a lot of other press conferences, a lot of big press conferences. And in fact, it reminded me a lot of the Triple G press conference in a way. There are aspects of press conferences that have to be similar no matter what. And Joshua followed that same pursuit. But with Joshua and Miller, I just felt like there was this, maybe it was an animosity. Maybe that was the thing. Maybe there was some sort of like hatred that was coming through the screen.
Are you saying that?
Yeah, it was an energy. It was an aura. It just, you could feel it.
Itself, right? But not the conference itself.
Yes, the conference. Yeah, I think it. Okay, so if you're asking me who put on the better show, I still think it was Joshua Miller. Now, I wasn't there to receive it the way that y'all were, so I'm sure y'all have better insight. But just from the looks of things, it looked like it was better received. It looked like the media had more access. Well, no, I wouldn't say that, because y'all definitely had a lot of access to Jacobs and Canelo. But I don't know. I just felt like there was more energy coming out of it. I felt like it wasn't. I felt like it wasn't not authentic. I know that doesn't make sense, but it definitely felt real.
Let me say something.
Hey, really quick though, this weekend's fights are on
Showtime and DAZN.
So obviously, if you don't have Showtime, you can head on over to ThaBoxingvoice.com/affiliate sponsors. Click on that Showtime banner and get your first month free of Showtime. And if you don't have DAZN, you can click right on the description below of this YouTube video and get that first month free of DAZN.
So just adding to this thing, look, I'm just gonna say Canelo doesn't speak as much English that could maybe make this confrontational, unless there was like a storyline like Triple G, a Canelo when they had their bad beef, the bad blood, the tainted meat story. I think that these two guys right here have a lot of respect for each other, but I'm curious what the other press conference would be like, because there's this conflicting story about the IBF, the ruling of the weight, if it's universal or the unifications.
It's not conflicting. I got that story out of Rozier thoroughly. I understood it. I can give you exactly what was told. Listen,
please do.
In a unification, the IBF 10-pound rehydration clause, which we all know, the same one that Jacobs chose not to abide by in the Triple G fight, that is disabled during a unification.
Yes.
But somehow, which is the words that Andre Rozier will use, but like we know how, Golden Boy and Canelo put in the fight contract that Jacob still has to weigh in the next day and can't exceed 10 pounds at the time of the weigh-in.
Now, Canelo said that was a IBF thing and not his thing.
Lie.
Jacobs came back and said that was Golden Boy who.
I'm just telling you what Canelo said. I'm just telling you what Canelo said.
You can look up the rule and see that the IBF does not make you rehydrate and stay within 10 pounds the next day if it's a unification.
Yeah, well, when Vic was on, he actually had said that too, that they had stopped using it.
Vic. It was Mike.
Wait, so check it out. My whole point is, if they continue to conflict these stories, it may build some hostility in the future press conferences. If that's
it gotta be. Hopefully, Jacob.
I agree.
In Mexico, hopefully he just comes out and be like, "Hey, man, heard you already lying on me, man. Like IBF, then you wanted this, not the IBF. So hopefully Jacobs makes some kind of confrontation and makes the press conference a little bit more exciting."
Well, I think we chopped this up from the outside perspective a lot. I'm curious to see Ron and listen to Ron and Ness's point. Did we get it right? Are we? Do you think that we're seeing the same thing? Was it the same from based on what we're saying in person versus seeing it through other medias?
I mean, I'm gonna say.
I want Ron to go first. Okay. Ron, give us two different opinions, right? Before you give the comparison, give us my first, because this is your first AJ press conference and your first Canelo press conference, right?
Correct.
Just before you guys started, I'd be interested in what your take was on when Joshua got pushed. whether he was really out of his depth or whether he was just looking to take control. Because I seen an interview where he was talking about when Vladimir got slapped or spat at by Chigurh.
Well, I say we make that part of the overall, breakdown.
Yeah, if you can bring that in as well, because it'd be interesting. Because he came across and said he was thinking how to take control of the situation.
I'll talk about the push. I mean, look, the first one I went to was Anthony Joshua and Miller because that happened first in New York. And, I thought there was a good amount of media that showed up, compared to a lot of other press conferences that came. I think it's for obvious reasons. Joshua's making his debut. So from that point, they had this really big, I don't know, at the Madison Square Garden, they had the scoreboard at the top, and they had Anthony Joshua knocking people out and had some sound effects and stuff. So I have it on behind the scenes clips. So, it was pretty cool how they did on the production wise. Obviously, entertainment value came a lot from Jarrell Miller. He came in, he pushed, he was very animated, slamming the desks, all that stuff. And eventually, I think the shoving, pushing, making Anthony Joshua jump down, be out of character, what some people would say. And that presented a lot of entertainment value because now you wanted to see how Anthony Joshua responds. How would we cope with this? He's in America. And I think the responses he did and the jokes he said back made it a fun back and forth, event. Outside of that, when you look at the UK press conference, I fell asleep on that one. That was boring. So if it wasn't for that New York hostility, we could have had maybe Canelo Jacobs having a better press conference just because you already know the event that Canelo brings. They had a very similar intro, but they had this screen where they had Canelo punching stuff and the knockouts, the Max Kellerman, the Roy Jones announcements, the music, and then the fans. It was open to the public. Okay. Now that added a whole different dynamics when you hear the Mexican fans chanting Canelo, yelling, bringing out flags at the Hard Rock Cafe. I wish the area was bigger, but there was a line of people showing up, and Madison Square Garden or the UK press conference didn't do that. So they already won with the fans because they allowed the fans to be there and see the whole spectacle. So when you look at it, I think that as a fan perspective and you're a true fan of Canelo opposed to a true fan of Anthony Joshua or Miller, you got more value because you got to go there and see it. See Bernard Hopkins, see Oscar De La Hoya, see Eddie Hearns, see your favorite fighters. And that was probably the better of the two. But outside looking in and me just being at both of the events, I thought it was more fun and more value watching Anthony Joshua Miller getting shoved and pushed because like you were asking, that shove was loud, okay? And you felt something was coming, but I think Anthony Joshua was bracing it, but you still never know. And at that point,
when you say the shove was loud, was it the reaction from everybody in there, or was it just
no,
like a slap, right?
The shove had an impact sound.
Yeah, it had like a smack to it.
It did. When you watch it on the press conference, it didn't even emulate what it was like there, and you couldn't even hear when Anthony Joshua Miller were throwing jokes, I can hear Ness way on the other side laughing with the other media, like, oh shit, they talking about each other's moms, man. Like you can feel like the media was just like us, like, damn son, you gonna let them talk about your mom like that, bro?
So is it fair to say, Ron, that from a fan's perspective, because I mean we're all still fans, even though you go to do a job, you can't take the fanship, you can't take the fandom out of it. From a fan's perspective, you think that the Canelo Jacobs was better, but from a media perspective, you there to do your job, you thought the Joshua Miller was better?
I mean, you have more content to work with. Like, granted, the fact that I was able to put videos of Joshua jumping off the stage, Miller pushing Joshua.
Water bottle, baby.
I mean, the water bottle.
We ain't bringing that up. Come on, man.
The Neil water bottle.
The water bottle was epic, man. It left. It set the boxing world on fire. You had guys reaching out.
It all adds
Mike,
to it, right, Mike?
Mike, can I get a clip of that water bottle so we can make it go viral? Because that was disrespectful what they did to Ness. I'm like, bro, let me check with Ness. But even though I never checked with him, I never passed it on. But people were like actually hitting me up talking about the water bottle incident, and the video that Ron had, it's like almost at 100,000 some views. So the water bottle incident is what made
that just
my
sets up.
opinion.
That just
thank you. It just took it to a whole new level. Like at the Golden Boy press conference, Ness didn't get sprayed with no water. Ness didn't even get insulted. So I mean, in my opinion,
it's not a good press conference unless Ness gets harassed or assaulted.
Hey, yes, I'm being real with you.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
say what you want to say, man. When Ness is out there in the field and rubbing people the wrong way, it makes for good content and good entertainment.
Now remind everyone, there's 2 more press conferences dates. One's in Mexico, I think one's in California. So like I said, who knows? Maybe things boil
Eddie
over
Jacobs,
after the first
stay
one.
away from the beef in Mexico. Don't let them give you no beef, all right? I'm telling you.
Mario and Ron still ain't sent me their flight itineraries to see who's more economical.
They ain't trying to go, man.
I sent you.
Let me go,
I sent
B.
you mine.
Let me go, B. I'll fly down there. I get Charlo.
Oh yeah,
I sent you mine.
Mario did. Mario's way too expensive. Yo, how
no.
$600 because it's $589 or something.
Because it's a few days out. If you go and look at click the link and you go see the map, yo, it's
LA. Check LA, Texas to LA.
Yo, it's 125. Ness. If we would have booked 10 days in advance, it was 125.
That's good. Round
trip, bro.
What? Houston, Dallas.
One day.
One day.
Where is it? Houston, Dallas.
That's still a little expensive because I swear to you, I caught
Chicago flight $79.
I think I caught Newark or New York when I went to see Ronnie. I caught Newark or New York to Houston for like $87 round trip.
No way.
I thought you went to Chicago to see Eddie for like $79 or some shit like that.
Something like that. Under 100 for Chicago, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, my brother brought up a good point.
That was not even like no sale. I just actually wish there was more fights in Chicago because it's that cheap.
Well, the only thing I was gonna say real quick, my brother said that it would be cheaper if I drove to McAllen, which is one of the border towns. So they have cheaper international flights and they have cheaper domestic flights. Take a plane from there, leave my car there, and go. But I would love to get to Dallas on Tuesday and then turn right around and go to Houston on Wednesday. Because Eve's fighting on Saturday. I mean, I don't know if they'll let me in that late, but I would love to get that by Wednesday.
What card is it? He fighting on?
Man, I don't even remember.
Oh,
FA's fighting on the March 8th card.
I don't know, man. I forgot.
I don't have my card. So.
I lost track of FA. I thought he was supposed to fight on the Charlo card, and I lost track of when and what, but he's the closest. Like, if you can't make Earl, you got to go there for real.
No, I'm already going. Listen, I'm already going to Earl. It's set and done. Me and my brother's got 2 people taking over the shop for him, so I'm good.
Well, so look, here's my thing with this press conferences and the comparison, and I don't know, man. I guess I'll be the resident AJ hater because I don't see it the way you guys see it. I'm on the other side. I think that the big press conference was definitely Canelo's. It was the big superstar feel. When I arrived, first of all, it was at the Hard Rock Cafe, whilst the other one was at the venue. This was in the Hard Rock Cafe, Times Square. Okay. Then there was the grand arrival of Canelo through the side with the crowd of people waiting. So that was crazy. The women yelling, "Papacito!" I'm like, damn, Papacito? Really? Like, that shit sound good. I would like to.
What they mean, man? What they mean?
Well,
Papi and what? Papi and what?
Remember Osacito? So Osacito means like little Jose. So Papacito is little
pop. Yeah, like little Poppy, little daddy.
But when it's said by a woman, it's a whole lot more sensual than little daddy. You know what I'm saying? So they screaming it. Yo, there was a little kid, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. And this is not a I don't like AJ thing. This is I'm always fans first. There was a little kid, maybe 10 years old, but he was sharp as fuck. Sharp. When let's say Jacobs got on stage and says something, he'll be like, "But you lost though." Just his little voice cutting through everything.
I remember that.
So many one-liners from this kid, English and Spanish. He was amazing.
Why ain't get his contact number?
Yo,
I kept hearing him. He was like, "Danny Jacobs, Danny." You could hear him. It was piercing through the audience.
And
so he was a Jacobs fan?
No, he was definitely not. He was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I thought you said he was saying who lost.
And this is what I'm saying. The fans, for me, made the press conference. There was another fan for Jacobs that, I mean, he could be heard cutting through the crowd, and he's like, we respect you, Jacobs. Like, but you knew he was Spanish because of the accent. Like, we respect you, Jacobs. Then, you know, they start talking. Someone talk about Jacobs' his loss to Gennady. He's like, he got robbed though. You know, like it was just cutting, and it made it funnier, right? So then Canelo gets up there, and some guy, and this is what I love about Latinos. Like Latinos, you know, it's not like Americans, like especially inner city Americans. We're more like, oh no homo. You know, Latinos. My man was like, Canelo. My mom says hi, but it obviously sounds way better in Spanish and shit. He's like, le manda saludo a mi mamá. And Canelo fucking replies like, you know, like, yo, tell her I said what's up. But like, imagine that. Like, I would never offer my mom up to Canelo. You know,
oh shit,
love them so much that it's you know, it makes it entertaining, bro. Then, you know, Ron talked about the screen over top of Madison Square Garden, but that shit had nothing on the projector that dropped from the ceiling on the Canelo one. You know, just the feel. It was the crowd. It was the crowd, because proper etiquette is for reporters not to cheer. So the crowd made it better when Jacobs walks out in his pinstripe suit, no tie, first button unbuttoned with the shell toes. You know, he think he killing it. Canelo fans like, quítale anyway, which means take his fucking sneakers. You know what I'm saying? So it was hilarious. Like, having the crowd made it better. Then they had that little thing where you just spin. It's like, yo, it was just, they added the energy that was needed, and they weren't overly Canelo. You know, Jacobs had some fans, and when they went through the cancer story, they really, you know, all the fans cheered for Jacobs. And, you know, when they talked about the $10 and how this is no more pay-per-view, all the fans cheered about that. And yeah,
we got Joey on the line right now.
All right, which area code?
810.
Yep.
Yo, check it out, everyone. We got Joey Spencer, PBC Fighter of the Year or Prospect of the Year. Tremendous amateur fighter, professional fighter, knocking out all his opponents. Appreciate you coming on the show. How's it going, Joey?
I appreciate it. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys having me.
Now, my first question I wanted to ask you was, you were in the sparring camp with Laura, right? How did those sparring sessions go?
Oh, it was fantastic being in there with such a crafty veteran like him. You know, I was just really thankful that I could get in there with him before he calls it a day. You know, he's been around a long time, so I was just glad that I was able to pick up some of his experience and learn some things. And you know, he was very helpful to me, and we had some great sparring sessions, and it was just really it was priceless for me going forward in my career.
Joey, what you trying to say, that you're picking up indications from this camp that it might be over?
Heck no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, you know, just naturally, he's been in a lot of fights since he was, you know, younger than me. You know, he's been fighting for a long time. I mean, I would have to assume that within the next few years, at least, he's probably going to want to hang it up and enjoy his family for the rest of his life. But as far as in camp goes, he was razor sharp. So
now,
definitely not, you know, any indicators for that at all.
Well, thank you for clearing that up. So, like, obviously, I know Ronnie well. I visited him. I just want to know, does he instruct you in sparring as to what they need from you? For instance, hypothetically speaking, let's say Brian Castellano is a pressure fighter. Are they saying you, Joey, we need you to put the pressure on Laura, you know, stay on him with the right hand? Or are they letting you get in there and you be you, and that's how you guys work in sparring? Or are they instructing you on what they need from you?
Well, you know what? The way it worked in this camp, I was going in there, and then there was another guy going in there. He had two main sparring partners. It was me and another guy. I'm not 100% familiar with the dude's name, actually. But I think Ronnie Shields mentioned it in an interview with you guys yesterday. But basically, that dude is a very, very intense pressure fighter. And then I was getting in there, and it was more like more cat and mouse, like, you know, boxing, being technical, and us kind of trying to play that game. So after the first day of sparring, I kind of asked Ronnie if he wanted me to pressure, like what look he was looking for. And basically what he said it was the perfect mixture, because we had the pressure guy coming in and throwing punches on his arms and just walking him down the whole time. And then they had me with a very technical look and you know, like I said, us boxing and playing cat and mouse. So they were happy with the way that went. So it just worked out to the point that I could just kind of be myself and do what I wanted to do in there, you know, and because they had the other look, which was a really strong pressure fighter. So what they said about, I haven't really seen the guy that they're fighting, but what they were saying is that he kind of tries to do both a little bit. Like he might pressure and then he might try to box, he might pressure. So they basically said they had the great two looks for this camp. So, you know, they were really open with me just doing my thing and being myself, you know.
I hate to keep hogging you up, but I just want to know, were you allowed to bring your trainer, or did your team feel like sending you out there with just Ronnie was, you know, good enough?
Well, no, actually my dad went with me. My coach went with me. So it was great for me and my dad, because obviously picking up Ronnie Shields is an amazing coach, and he's had a lot of experience. And so me and my dad being able to go out there together, and my dad being able to pick up things as far as coaching wise and, you know, schedule wise and things that they do differently than other guys, because we've been in a few pro camps. So being able to watch them and see exactly, you know, the things that they do, and, you know, just trying to pick up as much as possible. And so that, you know, as me moving forward in my career, as I get older, we can kind of put our own, as we get more experience, we can have our own schedule that's, you know, we feel is solid, that we can pull from a lot of different people. And he was really open to help us out a lot, and, you know, have conversations. And, you know, he was really supportive of me before we went down there to spar. When I was down, he was at my fight before we went, just my last fight, and he watched it, and he was really, really supportive of me. And so that was just a really cool experience. You know, Laura was helpful. Laura really, like, you know, kind of was really good with me. Ronnie was really good with me, just, you know, teaching me things. And I definitely tried to pick up as much as I could from both of them. So it was
How's it going?
also.
How's it going, Mr. Spencer? My name is Michael Gross. You've been in camp with Amir Khan on a couple of occasions. He has a big fight coming up against Terrence Crawford. What does Amir Khan have to do to cause the upset? Because he is a big underdog going in.
Honestly, I think he's just got to be himself. I think he's had the short end of the stick on, you know, a few different occasions, like, you know, we all know. But I think him, I don't think it's anything drastic that he needs to change. I think it's maybe try to just, I think if anything, like, you know, people talk about his chin, and I think it's possible that, you know, people could have, you know, can be chinny. But with Amir Khan's case, I think it's more so that he gets so aggressive at some points that he leaves his chin open for that perfect shot, that I feel like, you know, I feel like there's a certain point where if you get hit with a certain shot, you know, most humans are going down, you know, and maybe some with a very exceptional chin wouldn't. But with him, I think it's just stay out of the way of that big shot and stay focused on not getting too aggressive so he doesn't get clipped. I think he's got a lot more odds going in his favor than people say. I think it's, you know, Crawford didn't knock out Benavidez to the last round, which was a crazy perfect shot that would have knocked out anybody. But I think, you know, if you look at that fight as a base, I think Khan having so much more physical ability than Benavidez had on that night. I think Benavidez had some kind of injury. He was kind of stuck in the mud, you could kind of tell. Not taking that away from Crawford, because that was an amazing fight and win. But I think Khan, with his speed and movement, and if he can stay away from a big shot that clips him early, I think he could really have a chance in this fight of it being a chess match, and him and Crawford kind of going at it and battling out to the decision. If it goes to the decision, then Khan's got a really good chance of winning this fight. But For me, I can't really pick a winner of that fight.
Some would say Khan had problems with Samuel Vargas, and stepping in the ring with a guy like Terrence Crawford is a whole nother level. So, do you actually think if it goes to the cards that he has a chance of beating Crawford on the cards, being Crawford is a excellent boxer?
Oh, well, I think he has a chance, of course. Definitely anybody with as much natural ability as Khan is going to give somebody problems all the way down the road. But I think that Crawford also has amazing ability to adjust. So that also goes in Crawford's favor. With the Samuel Vargas thing you mentioned, I agree with you. But also, I think that sometimes when you get in there with a lesser opponent, you're going to be more lackadaisical, not thinking that they can do anything to you. But you best believe that Khan knows exactly who he's getting in the ring with, because everybody knows if you get in the ring with Bud Crawford, then you're in for a fight. And I think that might not necessarily make him train harder, because he probably trained hard, but just like it's just a different thing when you're in there with someone real sharp. It's like with us young prospects, it's hard to be sharp against these dudes who you don't believe in. You kind of got to have somebody to push you to be at that level of sharpness that you really need to be at. So I think that this fight, it could possibly bring the best out of Amir Khan. It could definitely possibly bring the best out of him. So I think that we should be expected to maybe be surprised at how his performance is. Definitely, I think we could be surprised.
I agree. Khan's one of the best. Hey, Joey, it's Martin. We'll get here. So I wanted to talk to you because, there's just so much hype around you, and rightfully so. You've looked phenomenal.
Appreciate it.
I'm wondering if there is being too much pressure put on you at this point, because you're so young, you're so early, it's so early in your game, and they're pushing you. They're saying you're the golden boy. I mean, not in those exact words, but they're definitely hyping you up. Plus, you're continuing this crazy knockout, this continuous knockout performances each time. Are any of those things causing too much pressure? I mean, are you putting pressure on yourself? Talk about the pressure for a bit with those things.
Talk about how he used the word pressure 7 times, Spencer.
I mean, it's pressure. What am I going to say?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I've been putting pressure on myself since I was an amateur. I mean, I'm always going to be in this. A lot of people say this, but for me, like, it's really, my dad's kind of got to pull me back sometimes when it comes to the pressure that I put on myself. No one's going to put as much pressure on me as I put on myself. And an example of that is when I was an amateur, when there really wasn't much on the line. I mean, since I was, 8 years old, fighting on my first local cards, I was putting pressure on myself like I was fighting for the world championship. So I think because I was putting all that pressure on myself from a young age, I've kind of learned to adapt a little bit. And like I said, it doesn't really matter how much pressure everybody else puts on me, because I'm already putting more on myself. I don't really see any of that. It's really, I'm just trying to please myself. So with that being said, I'm able to adjust to it pretty well. Like I said, I've been dealing with it for so long that I really know what to do in those situations and how to calm myself down, how to perform under pressure. And I've been doing that for a while through the amateurs and things like that. And I think that I've got it down pretty well.
Hey, Joey, this is Ron. I was at your 4th professional fight when I saw this like really magical moment where Andre Ward was coming in your locker room, Clarissa Shields was walking you out. And then while you're fighting, Floyd Mayweather was there, and he was yelling things at you at the ringside. Like, what was Floyd yelling at you there at that time? He also dapped you up. Like, that's an incredible story. Like, what was going on? What was he saying to you?
Yeah, it was cool. So basically, I was in the locker room, and Dre Ward came back, and we're talking, whatever. He's giving me some advice, telling me what to do, telling me to stay calm. And then Clarissa and Andre Durrell, for like the Michigan thing, they walked me out for that fight. But right before I actually went out, I looked up on the TV, and they were bringing Floyd in front row like 5 minutes before I came out, like right before my fight. And so then that was just a bunch of, they talk about pressure. That was a bunch of added pressure, obviously, him being one, the legend. And so they sit him down. I start walking out. So now I've got a whole different type of nerves. So when I got in the ring, Sam Watson is sitting next to Floyd, and he's pointing at me and getting my attention and got me to look over at them two. And basically he was telling me, like, Floyd's watching, like, do good. So Floyd waved at me. I waved at Floyd. Then I start fighting, and basically Floyd was just calling for different things, like throw more uppercuts, throw more jabs, like different things, just kind of coaching me through the whole fight, coached me through different little things that he saw that I needed to do. And a lot of it was working. So like the uppercuts, and he was telling me to go to the body more, and then the body shots ended up finishing the fight. So it was just really cool. It was a really cool experience. And then basically what happened, I went over and introduced myself over the rope, and he was like, see, what I was telling you was working. And I was like, yeah. And then that was pretty much it. And we dapped up, and then that was it. It was cool though. It was really cool. It was a really great night and surreal night as far as all the people in the building that I looked up to.
Hey Joey, Mike here again. Now you got power, you got speed, you got great punch selection, you pretty much the total package. If you could look back in time and compare your fighting style to one of the or somebody you may have looked up to, who would you compare your fighting style to?
So I've been since I was little, I've been watching. I've been a student of the game, watching a lot of different fighters. So some guys, you know, that I picked up things from, I might not even remember exactly who they were because I've watched so much, just dug into boxing so much since I was young. But if I had to say, like, from now, what I would think probably plays the biggest role in developing my style as far as who I watch, I would say it has to go with Canelo Alvarez, because I'm just kind of built like him as far as our body types, same weight class. I feel like I like to counterpunch. I like to work the body, just the way I like to move in general. I think I kind of get from watching him. And then the fans haven't really gotten to see much of it yet, but I spent a lot of time in the gym with Andre Ward, and I picked up a lot of things from him, watching him day in and day out, and then watching his fights. He's always been my favorite fighter and my favorite fighter to watch as well. So I've always tried to pick up as much as I can from him. And then a little bit of Floyd defense will come in down the road when it needs to. That's what I used. I used the Philly South through the amateurs. That was like the first defense I actually learned, and I use a lot.
You can't go wrong with that Floyd defense.
Yeah, so I'll work that in there. So I would say I'm a mixture between those three as far as who I watched.
Well, we got a lot of excitement to come if you're a mixture of those three. I'm gonna pass you back to Mario.
I agree.
Okay. Hey, Joey, I just real quick wanted to ask you, we've had guys on, and I always am curious how much you know going into the new year, considering we're, still pretty much in the new year, how much you know about what's going to happen in that year. Like, do you know what's going to happen in 2019 in terms of how many fights, is there what sort of step ups along the way? How much do you know how many fights, and how much time do you have to know before, fights get signed?
Well, I usually have 2 fights. I usually know 2 exact dates in advance. My next one's April 13th. The one after that, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head exactly what it is, but they have my date. And actually, April 13th, this is the first time I'm mentioning that's when I'm fighting.
I was going to say, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I hadn't seen nothing, so thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I'm fighting on the Kid Chocolate in Truex card. I believe that's who he's fighting. And that'll be.
Is it a 8-rounder, 10-rounder?
What's that?
Is it a 8-rounder?
No, this will be my first 6-rounder.
First 6-rounder. Okay, yeah, because I remember hearing you say that you were gonna. Somebody said you were gonna skip 6 to go to 8, but okay, great. We know it ain't going that long, but
probably not. But this is my first 6, and so that's one thing. I'm moving up a little bit, and they're saying we're gonna step up the competition a little bit and move up to 6 rounds, and that's a great thing. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to every step up. So then they got some other big plans and big ideas in the next couple years at least. Eventually I'm going to come home and fight a hometown fight in Michigan. That's a big thing that I'm looking forward to, that I can't wait to do. You know, somewhere around my hometown area of Linden. There's a couple. We got Flint, we got Detroit, we got a lot of different areas that we could have big events. So soon enough, we're going to come back and do that. So I'm looking forward to all those possibilities.
Hi, Joey. It's Shuka here from the UK. Well done on your career so far, man. You are a beast. You seem to have quite a busy schedule booked in for America and whatever. But will we ever see you over here in the UK at some point? Because we would love to see you over here.
Man, I hope so. I hope I can come to the UK. There was a few different times where I was scheduled to come over there to watch Nicola Adams fight, and my dad was actually training her for a while under Virgil Hunter. So I was almost set to come to UK a couple different times, but it never ended up working out. And I hope one day I can fight over there because you guys have some of the best fans in the world. So I would love to fight over there in one of you guys' big arenas and hold a huge event. It would be amazing. You know, it's definitely on the bucket list before my career's over.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to see you in the ring with Chris Eubank Jr. sometime in the future because that would be big box office over there.
That could definitely happen. We're only a couple years away from all those fights. Definitely, I'm looking forward to, you know, stepping in there with big names. So definitely.
All the good luck, all the best for the future, brother.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
Joey, so before we let you go, I just wanted to ask a little bit of advice. We are on our 4th season of Border Wars. What Border Wars is, it was something that we created here on the show because we had so many people calling in and saying, hypothetically, obviously, because you just started your career, but they would say, man, I watched that Joey Spencer, man, he's good, but he should have threw that right hand to the body and came up with the hook because he could have knocked him out a whole lot faster. So we started we started this get off the couch and really put what you're saying to the test. So we have complete novice that have never been amateurs, never been in the ring, all ages, all weights. The main goal is weight loss. So my main question really is, my co-host, Mario Munguia, is actually going to step in the ring and have an exhibition with one of the callers. So what advice would you give a guy that's never been in that ring? How do you get over that, I guess, that adrenaline rush that zaps your energy? All of a sudden, you're just breathing. All right, talk to us about how does one overcome that? In a little bit of time, too, because he's fighting March 15th.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. How long have you been training, first of all?
I've been training about a month, a little over a month.
Okay. So basically, once the work's done, because once you get, within a week of the fight, there's no more work you can do. You know, you're not going to get in any better shape. Basically, where you were going at first, that was exactly where I was going to go. You better stay relaxed, because there's nothing like boxing to tire you out. So the main thing is just breathe in and out, stay relaxed. When the other dude might come out swinging hard, just use your defense, put your hands up, move your head, and breathe, because it'll only take a minute. If that's the first time the other dude's been in the ring as well, then it's only going to take a minute before he starts tiring out big time. So you don't need to, waste your energy at first. If you do 3 rounds, take the first round, use some defense, let him tire out, and then he'll be yours by the second round. I guarantee that.
A lot of people have told me, Joey, that as much as cardio will help, I should be doing more like mitts and sparring. Do you think at this novice level, it's more important to see punches thrown at me and throw punches than it would be to like do road work and stuff? Like, should I forget the treadmill? Should I forget the elliptical?
Basically, what the treadmill and the elliptical do, or the treadmill, I would say, or the road work, is it adds on to your actual sparring training, because the only thing that's going to get you in shape to box is box. That's like an old saying. Other things can add on to it. Running can get you in better shape, but if you don't spar, you're not going to get in shape to box. It's just impossible. The only thing you should be doing, in my opinion, is get in there and take actual punches to the gut and in the face, and have to deal with that adrenaline. It's the only thing. Because the only thing you can really do is get more and more used to it. It never gets really any better.
Joey,
sir, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So I want you to play.
No problem, buddy.
I want you to play psychic here, right? Because I did all of that, right? Like I did what Mario is doing on a previous season, and I went out and I ran the miles. Right. And I was super confident. I mean, I was so confident because I was in there sparring with some pros and I had a coach and I lost all this weight. But when the fight came, that adrenaline rush hit me, bro. I mean, when I weighed in with the guy, I actually grabbed his stomach and I said, "Oh, you must be married." Like I was so confident. But when the bell rung, that shit went out the window. It was impossible for me to breathe. Yeah. What happens to somebody? What is that?
It's like when you're drowning. It's really the best example of that is drowning and panicking. That's what it is. When you get thrown in the water and you can't swim, that's exactly what it is, because that's basically what you are. When you're in the ring, there's nowhere to go. You feel like you're drowning. Someone's hitting you in the gut. I told my mom used to run, the 400-meter sprints, and those are like the hardest sprints you can run, obviously, when you run track. And it feels like your whole body's just shutting down, Well, in boxing, and I've ran that race before multiple, because I ran track in middle school. Well, that compared to boxing, you get just as tired, but someone's hitting you in the face and in the gut. It's just like there's nothing like it, and there's nowhere to run. You got four corners, and there's nowhere to go. You're that tired, and if somebody's fresher than you, you're about to get pounded on. So there's really nothing like it in sports. Even in MMA, not that I don't respect what they do, but there's just, in boxing, there's nothing you can resort to. You can't resort to a takedown. You can't resort to, there's just not any room. You got to use your fist, and if you're exhausted, it's pretty much over. There's nothing you can do. You're drowning. You'll drown.
Sucks, man. Listen, thank God.
It does suck.
Thank God I have power. You know what I mean? I knocked my man down. So I was able to clean up a couple of bad looking rounds.
Hey, Joey, he has so much power that Sean Porter tuned his ass up for like 3 rounds, and he had like a whole foot and a half on him.
But listen, Joey. First of all, that was the first time I ever got in the ring, let alone put a mouthpiece in my mouth for boxing. Like I played football, but not boxing. So then I get in with Sean Porter, and look, I accidentally hit him with a straight right. A lead right. The crowd oozing eyes, and it was over. He took it to the body on me. I had to decide whether I stay here and show these people that this little man did not just beat this 6'5" guy, or do I go down because this guy's putting it on me. I went down.
Listen, it's not a good person to get in the ring for the first time with is Sean Porter, I guess. But definitely, if you caught him with that accidental straight right, at least you got that in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, I'm telling you, it's going to be on my tombstone. Here lies the guy that landed, the novice that landed the right on Porter. No, but Joey, man, I want to thank you for your time, brother. We appreciate it. We're definitely going to continue to follow your career on the way up. We know that that's where you're going, is on the way up. Give out your social media for anyone that hasn't been following you can do so at this time. And thank you again.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Follow me at Joey D. Spencer on Instagram, at JSNation_ on Twitter. And I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, brother. There you have it. Joey Spencer, Red Hot Prospect, 6-0. I mean, when we first started this interview, I seen somebody, I think it was Rue. I'm going to get to him too in the 504. He says, Joey need to step it up this year. I'm like, motherfucker, he got 6 fights.
He's 18 years old, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and he's 6 fights. He need to step it up. That is hilarious.
I want him and his dad to take that Canelo approach.
Yo, I'm shocked. Honestly, he said we got big plans in 2 years. I'm thinking 2 years is even too soon. Like that's a real. I wouldn't mind seeing this kid, box for the next 3-4 years. Rack him up them wins.
You talked about pressure, and that might be some of it, right? Like we got all these other prospects with the same notoriety as.
That's a great point. Damn, that would have been a good question to ask.
I mean, we got Shakur talking title shot after 9 fights and
Teofimo
12 fights with title shots. So maybe he feels that pressure, but I don't think so. And I don't think.
I mean, if we going off
Ryan Garcia,
I don't think you should listen.
Yeah, I am. But if we're going off the cut up, if we're going off the
I'm gonna beat you up. I swear, Texas get
it's
here.
cool, it's cool, it's cool.
think
If
you
we're going off the eye test, Joey Spencer definitely passes
Y'all
the
just
eye
talked
test,
though. I didn't
man.
hear a word
Like I
either.
said,
of
man,
y'all.
Yo, Mike was relentless. Mike, you were relentless. You didn't
I'm gonna
even
get this
take
point
a
off.
break. You just
He
kept
got
talking till he
speed. He
submitted,
got
bro.
power. The kid has great punch selection. And I'm telling you,
I'm not
man.
gonna let you get it off. You ain't just cutting. You ain't gonna be no cut off bully. Fuck
Yo,
out.
he's so good at that though. Ron is right. He didn't fucking
Bro,
even miss a
Ness started
beat.
before Mike, and then Mike said after, and he wouldn't let go. Didn't even acknowledge. He said, "I'm gonna keep talking. Yep, I'm talking,
Yo,
talking."
he outdid Ness, you, and me all in that one span, bro. That was crazy.
He need better coffee over there. Better coffee is what he.
Yo, but hey, we got that April
Walmart
13th
brand
breaking
coffee,
news.
baby. You know what I'm saying? We don't spend no money on the coffee. We can get that fucking generic shit.
Yo, we got that breaking news. April 13th, he announced it. He's gonna be on the Quillen Truex
Who he fighting?
card. Well, he didn't have the opponent for us, but
that's right.
yeah, and he also says that he has his next date available too, and all this seems to be leading towards a big Michigan fight or hometown fight at some point. You know, he talked about Flint, possible location Detroit, and that's what's up, man. You know, the fact that he reps them or reps his place. You know, Detroit, Michigan's definitely a place that needs people to stand up for it, and so I think he could be a champion for him.
And they rep him.
Let's just
definitely
get back to the Russian part, because you know people see skill and they try to rush, but like you know, he just said he's gonna have his first 6 rounder. So
yeah, he's going up to 6. See, I had heard an interview.
There's levels. He's got to go do 4s and 6s, 8s, 10s, then 12.
Exactly. And I had heard an interview that and you know, now I'm thinking it wasn't even an interview. I think it was a podcast I was listening to where they were saying that there was a possibility that he would skip 6 rounds and go to 8. You know, at this point, it really don't matter because it ain't going the distance. This kid's got some. Looks like he's got some serious power. Yeah, and it's natural.
And he's very
he
active
hit
too. Like
motherfuckers and they just get drunk, and when he hit them.
See,
last year he fought 5 times, and so granted, like
I love that, Ron.
and I'm sure he's
I
gonna
like
fight
that,
like
man. I like that too, Mario. 5 times. By his 3rd year, he'd be about 16, 17. Then you start raising, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got plenty of time. 18 years, he got plenty of time.
I mean, like
make
I
your
said,
money,
talking
enjoy your
about he
life,
needs to step up.
get these wins, back him up, man.
His fourth fight, he was already getting walked out clear to Shields. Warrior was going in his dressing room. Floyd was like already
We
acknowledging
know
him. Like,
why people want him to fucking step it up, because once Floyd comes and gives you that validation, people want to see you. Oh yeah, Javante, go. Fucking him. I mean, not fucking him. Joey Spencer, go. No. Let these guys mature. Let these
You're
guys
absolutely right.
He's only
he's a good-looking kid. You know, he's very well articulated. He has the look. Like, I think they see him and they see, like, if you ever watched that movie Moneyball or read the book, they talk about how with baseball, it's not just about the skills. Like, they need people that they can put in front of their franchise. And this is what Joey Spencer is. He's a franchise fighter.
That's why fucking football quarterbacks are the main guys. Push basketball, you know what I'm saying, just the best player. But guys who have the look and guys who are marketable to women, because let's be honest.
You're right.
If women are there, who else gonna be there? Men.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's why De La Hoya was so successful.
And he has a very good foundation. I met his dad and his family. They're very supportive. And he also has, like, you know,
that's very important
throughout his family, athletes throughout his family, so they understand what he's going through. And they're extremely supportive. Every time you see a Joey Spencer fight, I always expect to see the whole family there to support. So it's always good to have that
question
too.
I forgot to ask him is what sports he played in growing up in high school and stuff. I wanted to ask him that and I forgot. Yeah, I've heard that.
That 400 meter, but that 400 meter sprint, he's not lying, because I know I ran one. I probably like 3 or 4 of them. But after that second 200. Shit, that last 100 ain't no joke.
Meter you run is to cut us off,
bro. How about you run a 400 meter on your face, man?
All
your face need a relapse. Your face need a relapse, homie. How about that?
My man Sprint to cut us off. So here's some fun facts and put things into perspective and why breaks need to be pumped. Not that I don't see the skill or talent, but ranking systems are crazy, right? So like Joey's already at 222, and a guy like Freddie Hernandez, who is a seasoned vet, could Joey knock him out? Absolutely. He could probably knock him out. Would he be able to knock him out? How many times has Hernandez gone 10 and 12, but that Freddie Hernandez, who's also fought Andre Berto and numerous others, I'll click on him in a bit. He's only ranked at 213. So you gotta treat a fighter accordingly. You can't just rush him because of the crowd and the people. Because yes, maybe Joey can pass this test, but if he passed that test in his 7th fight, then again, there's more expectation upon his shoulders, and there's not necessarily any need. Look, this guy just fought Jason Quigley. But again, Freddie Hernandez has started his career as low as, I believe, 47 maybe. But he's always gotten high. Like very early on in his career, he's fought as high as 160. So again, this is a tricky fight. This is probably something you need after Joey Spencer has a few fighters under his belt that actually have wins. Like right now, he's still fighting the types of fights that he needs to fight. But like in the future, he'll be in those Chris Colbert's type of matchups with the Avery Sparrows and the Austin Dulays, where it's like, oh shit, 2 young prospects. You know what I mean? We haven't gotten that from him yet, and I don't think we should rush until he gets a couple of those under his belt.
You're absolutely right, because what's very important at this point, even if the skill set's not at those Avery Sparrows, what you got to look for is you have to be fighting guys regardless of skill set. You got to fight a tall guy, a short guy, a fat guy, a strong guy, a tall, skinny guy, a short, stout guy. You got to get all those in. Exactly. Boxer, brawler. Absolutely.
Just to interject about rushing, look what happened to Lomachenko. He wanted to rush. He wanted that.
Great example.
Orlando Salido is obviously more accomplished than Freddie Hernandez, but very similar. Both Mexicans, both extremely tough. Like,
and you may look at that like a loss, but maybe that was the best thing to ever happen to Lomachenko.
Could have been. And they both have those veteran tactics.
Right. Yeah, right now
since then they kept him away from punches. Yeah, I know.
He's considered one of the very best in the sport. I'm just saying. But
do you think there might be a bit of a danger of rushing this guy? Because the landscape of boxing right now is about making superstars overnight.
True.
And I know you're saying
let me ask you a question though. Since you're over there in the UK, do you think they should move him like Eddie Hearn is moving Josh Kelly, because he's kind of got Josh Kelly on that fast track?
Yeah, but what's Josh Kelly's background?
Josh Kelly was in the Olympics, man. He was an Olympic fighter.
My bad, Ron. Damn, hold on. I was asking the question, Ron. I'm sorry. Shit.
I believe with Josh Kelly, they're building him slowly. They're not really rushing him into these big
fights.
He
was finna fight a guy, but he had to pull out because he was sick. What was the guy's name? He had fought.
You're talking about Josh Kelly pulling out because he was sick. Yeah. Who was his last opponent he was scheduled to face?
That's what I was gonna ask. I forget his name, but it is what it is. But if you're listening right now on YouTube, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Helps with the visibility of the show, and we can get to more places and become a bigger podcast, because we are the hardest working boxing podcast around. So go ahead and smash that thumbs up button.
So anybody that wants to watch the Earl Spence fight with us, we got a suite. Holla at me. Chill with the big dogs. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. And if you want to go one step farther, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice and sign up right now. We do have a betting show today. Maybe it's at 1 o'clock, maybe it's at 2 o'clock. We don't know yet. I don't know how Net's gonna move today, but sometimes he always puts betting shows back for some reason. But we are gonna do a betting show today, and we are gonna win some money, because last weekend was the first weekend in 3 weekends in a row that I didn't win any money. So
everybody's asking.
I gotta.
Will Mario continue his streak?
Yes, Mario has been giving some good advice. Damn good.
I'll say I've been given like at least 1 or 2 good.
He told Ness to bet on Darrell by decision, and we all thought Darrell was gonna knock out Yeardom. He also told Ness to bet on Joe Joyce by stoppage by round 6, and we all thought Joe Joyce was.
Wait. Durrell didn't go to distance, right? I thought that was
Well,
a
it's
non
points decision.
It's points anyway.
Okay,
That's the same thing.
Anyway.
That point.
Don't matter.
So
Mario
that
was
counts.
right.
Yeah, it counts.
Right.
Points
Okay, I didn't
decision.
know.
Yeah,
He was
All
right.
right.
He said points decision. Whatever.
So I learned something new about betting.
He also said Joe Joyce was going to knock out Bermain Stavern in rounds 4 through 6, and guess what happened? They stopped his ass in 6. Big ups Mario. This weekend, I'm listening to Mario.
JoJo also.
I don't win shit.
Yeah, Joe Diaz, Charles Welter, he called that perfect too. Mario's a little chump.
Mario got
he betting quarter.
I study, bro. I've been studying hard. Yo, when y'all had, and I'll be real, the reason why I came so hard is because y'all had already established the betting successfully. So I felt like I had to come and bring something to the table.
Homie, but you studying hard and like you not coming up. You gotta come up. Like
I know. You gotta make your money, big dog.
Like you could have been
giving this advice, you know what I'm saying?
Right now on FanDuel and shit.
To be honest with you, the only time I made money was the Rivas fight. That was it.
Okay.
I bet that Rivas fight. I had a good parlay and I made $82, and that was it. And since then, I've lost. I lost about 12 of that so far.
And speaking of Oscar Rivas, if y'all want to go over to the Boxing Voice IG page and check out Brian Jennings drop some bars. I'm talking about drop some bars.
What?
Brian Jennings surprised the shit out of me.
What? He accusing Oscar Rivas or something?
No. He rapping.
Oh. Everybody want to rap now, Mario.
I got him.
Everybody
sign him up.
You might have one more. I'm telling you. You might want to stay away from Brian Jennings. That motherfucker came hard.
He's cold.
He came hard.
Mario started off like yo, AJ. Who else tried? Who else tried to rap the other day?
Well, hold on. Miller did. Then Danny Jacobs.
Miller.
Danny Jacobs rapped.
Danny
Jacobs. Danny Garcia.
Didn't Danny Jacobs rap at the?
Danny Jacobs rapped.
That's what I heard something about that.
I thought he did rap. Yeah,
not the presser. It was at
bars. Yeah,
I didn't hear him, but somebody had told me.
Okay. I know Roy Jones obviously raps.
Yeah, of course.
You must have forgot, boy. Y'all niggas must have forgot about
Roy Jones. Had songs in the club.
Mario, you make Boxing's version. I'm gonna say this shit off air because somebody might steal it.
One last thing.
I'll text it right now to you.
Yo, I'm gonna rap myself out against Ant.
Head over to
we should get water rap.
.com/affiliate.
For real.
Amazon link. Bookmark that link. Save that link, and it is tax season. So do me a favor. Do all your shopping through.
You can make that happen, and you make it into a YouTube video, and that shit get a million.
Yeah.
Easy.
If you're on Amazon and you listen to the Boxing Voice, go ahead and bookmark our link, man, and do your shopping.
Listen, I just started using Amazon to do the auto dog food, and you even save money. Yeah, you even save money.
What kind of dog food you buy your dog, man? What kind of dog food you getting?
I would have to look it up, but it is specific to bulldogs because they come with they're easily prone or have hereditary allergy issues. So
that's what I was gonna say. They have something in their food that helps with the nasal cavity.
Yeah, you gotta be careful what you feed them. So yeah, I got something specific from the breeder that I went with, but it's a well-known brand. It's just off. I can't remember it, but it's something like Wildlife or something or Wild something. Yeah, he might be right. It could be blue. No, I don't think it's Blue Buffalo because I seen that in Target. That ain't the best, champ. That ain't the best.
If any dog food people out there listening, and you guys specialize in bulldog dog food, we'll love a sponsorship. You know what I'm saying? That's got a beautiful bulldog that he is very fond of. So
got the nails done.
My dog.
What? You got the nails done?
Hell yeah, she's a champ.
What? That's what's up, yo. And real quick to any of the Border Wars contestants listening, I found, I hadn't had them before, but I have a really good snack because I've been eating lighter
shit.
With protein.
He using snack, y'all.
No. Well, yeah, there are snacks. It's Quest chips, Quest protein chips, and I'm about to put those on a reorder, just like Ness said, using the Amazon Boxing Voice link to get them sent every month because them hoes are good, but they're hard to find.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Fucking Robert Ortiz mind you, he's been ducking me since Border War season 1. He's sponsored by Quest Bars.
What, for real?
What? Oh, hey, check his IG.
Damn, you need to send me a box
That's
then.
what I was about to tell you. Like, you better holler at him and see if he can send you a box or maybe hook you up. But yeah, he's definitely sponsored by Quest Bars. That's
Those bars are good, but those chips, man. Like late at night, I don't like eating after I'm done with my last workout, especially if I get like a late workout like last night. So I'm like, damn, why already ate dinner? I'm not gonna eat again, but I can still get like certain protein. And those Quest chips are so fucking good, bro. So good.
They calling you really Super Mario in the chat.
We got 3 super chats that I want to get to. We got one from Deej. TBV is number 1. These other channels are biting. Big ups to Deej, man. Big ups to you, man. Thank you, brother. We got another one from Jab Left Hook. Is there rehydration clause with Spence and Mikey? I think it is because it's for the IBF title and it's not a unification. So I think there's a next.
Go Mike.
Go Mike.
You know how I do.
Mike.
You know how I do what I do.
Yo, the name of my dog food is. Where's my drum roll?
I got one more super chat for you. Get your dog food.
Oh, wow.
LMH Sim. LMH Sim. That's his name. Great interview with Hearn recently, Ness. So good job with Eddie Hearn, man. People like when you put
Big
your
shout
foot
out
on
to
Eddie
Ness
Hearn
and
neck
Ron.
and get the answers you need.
Mine is called Taste of the Wild, and it's a 4-star rating on Amazon.
Never heard of that.
Why didn't you get a 5-star?
Yeah, you know, Ness need to get that.
Hey, yo, listen, I go with what the breeder. You don't listen. The worst thing you can do, it's not that you can't do it, but it's like you can do it the right way, right? So the right way would be stop giving the dog the food that the breeder's giving them and give them straight white rice to wind them off of the old food, then introduce the new kibble. But that's like mad work for that.
No, it's a bad idea too. With my brother's boxer, he tried to feed him without weaning him. First of all, yo, that poor dog had diarrhea for like a month. They had to take him to the vet like 4 times. It was the dumbest thing he ever did.
The last thing you want to deal with is a diarrhea dog, bro. Like, it'll be no good. So we're gonna go to call. Let's get this thing started. You know how it goes. Pound for pound, mastermind. Boom.
1-425-569-5241 if you want to call in on Blog Talk. But if you want to call in on Skype, go ahead and add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. NESTORGIBBS. Let's go.
And press 1. Press 1 when you call in. Don't be sitting there and wonder why Ness keeps skipping you.
Exactly.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
It is hard to continue developing new content and covering the sport as thorough as we do without contributions from loyal listeners like you. If you enjoyed listening to the Boxing Voice Radio and find it informative and entertaining, please consider making a donation.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
And we can't stress it enough. If you're going to sign up for the Dazn and you ain't got Dazn yet, just click in the description box right below the video and click on the Dazn link and sign up through that link, man. You get the first month free and it's only $9.99 the month after. And you get the Golden Book cards, you get the Matchroom cards, you get the WBSS Super Series, and you get fucking Bellator if you like that bullshit ass MMA, which I do. But so you can watch a lot of shit on there, man. Just support the Boxing Voice, man. Go ahead and sign up to the Zone in the description box. Yes, sir.
Well, Mike, we do got 14 clicks on the link. No one actually
let's get 28, nigga. Let's get 28 clicks on the link.
No
Everybody
one signed up, though. You know, we need to sign up, make sure they catch them new fights. But let's go out to our pound for pound supporter on V.
What's going on, RV? Man, we need an intro, big dog.
He got to holler at Dollar DiBiase.
Yeah, I think I'm coming up with something myself.
Ooh.
But
also you be in the studio.
Yeah, he
I got all kind of shit. But I got my boxing gloves the other day.
Okay.
Signed, you know, pound for pound specialty. I like it. It came fresh.
How you get those though? How you get those?
Well, I'm a pound for pound, so you know.
What that mean though? Like for somebody listening who don't know what that mean, R&V.
So basically, Ness was like, which boxer you want to sign your boxing gloves? He didn't say, hey, I got to pick this boxer that, fights only 6 rounds and he can sign it. He said,
well,
boxer?
It ain't going to be like that all the time. You know what I mean? I ain't going to front though. I have gotten everybody what they want so far. But luckily no one's asked for an AJ yet.
Hey,
no one asked for AJ.
Man. Come on now. Hey, but you did ask that. You did ask
no,
that.
I did.
Like, this is what I want.
I did, but my next question would have been like, oh, I ain't got that.
Lucky I didn't say no. I wanted like Holyfield or something like that.
But those, you see, those are more. Those are possible. Like I just gotta find, hunt them down. But Holyfield be out here all the time.
Well, I'm thinking about actually sending my gloves back to you and getting everybody sign that one glove. So
all the fighters.
Yeah.
Holy shit! You trying to make it hard? I gotta walk around with that glove forever now.
No. I said I'll send it back whenever you tell me to. I'll pay for it. It ain't no big.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. How many? Oh, so you want just them two on it? Like you want Evander and Wilder on it, or you want more than them?
Just the heavyweights.
Yeah, he just said like fill it up until like it's gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Big baby,
but
AJ.
Yeah. See, now you see.
I just sent Rick pound for pound the big baby one I had.
But yeah, Rick posted it too.
Yeah, I can't see it though.
We're gonna start this clock.
But now, I think the zone is probably the best thing ever for boring fighters. And this is why I say why. Because once this groundwork is laid about subscriptions, people, when they subscribe to something, after they subscribe to about a year, it almost becomes like them putting gas in their car and they forget about it and it constantly withdraws their money and they never forget about it again. That's when people are going to cancel. It's kind of like a gym. Most gym memberships, they don't make their money off people that actually work out, but they just make money off people with these subscriptions. And I think these boring fighters, you need to run to the zone as fast as possible because these 2 press conferences I've seen, if they would have been regular fighters, they would be exposed by the pay-per-view numbers. Because what the zone's going to do is going to hide trash fighters. They better hope that the subscription base build up. Because once it build up, man,
what do you mean hide trash fighters, bro?
Because look, prime example.
I know it sounds like I set you up for that, but that is your time. Plus, we gave you mad extra time and time. But you're gonna have to come back and explain that because I don't know what you mean, like hide trash fighters, like. But that is our pound for pound supporter. Next up, Deej in the UK.
Damn, son.
Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Huh? You think you can do this shit?
I'm putting case on your ass for this goddamn intro, nigga. You got to come up with something else, man. God damn.
Mike hates your intro, Deej.
Hey, this shit right
Mike
here horrible,
hates it,
Deej.
Deej.
That ain't. Hey, I'm a good friend, Deej. I'm gonna tell you if your shit outfit ain't it when we got to the club. This intro, it ain't.
Yeah, Mike. Just hold on. Don't we start that dude's clock, Mike?
Yeah, man. Start this clock back over, bro. I'm sorry.
My time started up, man. Oh,
hold on, bro. I got you, man. Damn, chill out, Deej. Now go.
All right. Okay. So, when you're comparing the both of the press conferences together, the one thing which sticks out for me is, and I think Big Baby and Dillian White and everyone sort of picked up on this. They say that Joshua's got a personality or persona which is a little bit fake. I don't think that suits an American audience. I think Joshua, to be successful in America, has to be a villain. Unfortunately, I think America likes a good villain or somebody with a little bit of a story or a bit of dirt behind them. I don't think clean cut, squeaky Joshua sells in America, to be honest. I don't think when you look at fighters who've been buried in the UK, like O'Hara Davis, somebody like Bro now, I think he would have got buried in the UK too.
Hey, just wait about 20 minutes, man. We got O'Hara coming on live.
Cut it. Yo, what does he mean? Like Broner would have got buried in the UK. Deej, when you boomerang, do explain. It's time to go out to none other than
Alabama.
I want Joshua. Joshua, come and see me, baby. If he doesn't hide it, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses.
ThaBoxingvoice.com. Hey man, don't start my time yet. Hold on.
The return.
Where is my T-shirt, man? I just thought about this, man. I'm a mastermind. I've been a mastermind for about 8 months, man. Where's my T-shirt
Dog,
at?
nowhere in the description does it say when you get your shirt. It says you get a shirt.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Listen,
Ness was ready for that.
Listen, let me just tell everybody something, yo. There, different levels of Patreon do get you a gift, but it ain't when you want. The fuck, like, even though Patreon is the backbone, like, remember that your patronage is for us to be able to go out there and perform the work that we do at a higher level. So, because you're a Patreon, that allows me and Ron to go somewhere. It allows me to tell Mario and Ron to check flights to go cover something else. You know, I can't make delivery. Who is this with the background? Is that a con?
It says it's Suki.
This guy comes in with a fucking orange background and shit. So yeah, you know, delivery isn't within 30 days, you know. And since you don't pay attention, Javier, who's a mastermind in Texas every day, he would know this. He's in another chat, a B&B chat with Enrique, who is the shirt producer. Whenever I get a mass order of 100 plus, I use Enrique. And the shirt that I wore yesterday, the round 12 Patreon only shirt, that was a prototype, like I said many shows ago. After the response from the public, I decided to put it into production.
It's a dope shirt.
I'm making 100 plus shirts, and everyone from Pound for Pound to I never know this tier by heart. I want to say it's Rapid Punches. Sounds very right, but I'll double check. But yeah, everyone from Rapid Punches to Pound for Pound will receive their shirts. So Javier, you will be receiving yours then. I know that you feel jealous because Pound for Pound supporters are calling in, or you know, they're posting the pictures of their gloves. But you know, you will also get to post your picture as well. Don't be a little bitter. Everything's okay. You know, have yourself a good old day. So, all right, I was correct. Oh, it's actually Punches and Bunches. So if you're on Punches and Bunches, you're a ringer, you're a boomeranger, you are a mastermind or a Pound for Pound, you will receive your shirt in the order that you have became those specific tiers.
There you go, Javi.
Everything else left will go out to everyone under that tier at a limited, you know, whatever the right phrase is, you know, a limited amount, meaning whatever's left goes to whatever down the line, whoever can get it.
Hey, well, thanks for the call, Javi. We'll check you later.
And
No, bullshit.
and we don't charge you shipping, even if you're like in fucking Australia, which I've shipped to. I'm trying to ship to Dubai, but my man Prince Joel, like, he doesn't even have an address. It's just like, send it to the name of the condo he lives in. It's like, bro, we need an address. Like, I ain't about to ship, you know, $250 worth of merchandise
90 seconds
and lose that shit, because that's happened to me too. I've sent like 2 gloves to the UK and homeboy never got it. Meanwhile, the post office had pictures of it, so he moved, all this crazy shit. So delivery is a bitch. So I try to do that like one time every 6 months. I'm just being real. And I just went to the post office, Javi. But Enrique's coming to Texas, and he does have some shirts. I think half of the order is
60 seconds.
So we can see if we can do something for you. Cry baby.
Enrique looking for that night shirt.
That being said,
that go down to his knees.
Hey man, hey Jack, man, you all doing all this goddamn Texas, man. Hop on the goddamn show, bro.
Twice.
You ain't busy.
What you talking about? Fuck you and Jack. I need to get my call off, nigga.
Okay. Hit the boomerang while you at it.
Hey, the big baby shit was better than Canelo and Jacobs. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But in London, that shit was trash because they always trying to censor shit and they get on my.
Man, nobody give a fuck about that shit, Javier. Be honest with you, man. What's up with this Dallas trip, big dog? We trying to get this fucking sweet, man. You in on or what?
Nigga,
Man, he just hijacked the.
Shut up, Mario. Hold on.
Oh, you got floor seats? Why you don't return them shits?
10 seconds.
Cause nigga, I want my flow seats, nigga. I want the blood on me.
Man, you know you don't want to chill with us. Oh,
Yo, we're gonna be kicking it in the suite with Jerry Jones.
Smoking big blunts with Jerry.
Hell yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna make sure Joseph don't invite you to strip club 1, and that the security don't let you in the suite 2.
Ooh.
We're gonna be chilling with Dak Prescott, and you just gonna be all by yourself.
Don't do it to Javier, man. Y'all take this nigga
I went over his time.
Y'all take this nigga whole call, man.
It's a whole lot of people
That's
waiting.
how we treat Patreons, man.
He got to stay
Everybody ain't Patreon.
Mike, you're the one who asked him about the Dallas trip.
Yo, it's time to go to Rue in the 504.
What going on, Rue?
Hey nigga, I ain't mute myself. Let's go.
Good. My nigga Javier, let him know how.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. Just basically out of both press conferences, the AJ Miller one was definitely the best. Except for that incident that happened afterwards when that was kind of a bitch made move. I mean, you're gonna spray water on a guy and walk away. That's the shit the housewives do on those Bravo shows. But
Ooh, I like that one.
I used to watch them Bravo shows. He absolutely right, yo.
I mean, it's like you're gonna spray water on a dude behind a barricade and then turn around and walk off. That's bitch made. That you don't do that.
Straight up.
But anyway, as far as the comment, as far as the guy Spencer, the prospect, I agree. I guess they could bring him along a little slower. I mean, the guy he fought last wasn't that great, but I mean, I guess he's that young. I guess I don't have a problem with him being brought on a little bit more slower. But that's my call.
Great call, Rue 504, man. Third coast, stand up.
You the man. Anthony, what up?
Oh,
yo, what up?
City Crover, what up? What up? What up? Oh shit! Don't get quiet now, Mario.
Oh, ain't no one quiet.
I know it was great work, great interviews. Great work, great interviews. You know, if something stuck out that Joey said. I know letting us like to rag on my gas tank and all that, but if you notice one thing that you yourself pointed out, even though I could be tired, my power carries late. Reason being, I was all city 400 meter dash champ. I was a collegiate level 400 meter dash, and I could be all tired, but I could still go. So
I got no respect for you, bro. I got no respect for you.
You can do whatever you want in that ring. You can think I'm as tired as you want. You can walk up to me, and it's going to be the same power from round 1 to round 3.
You know what it is though? I think, Ant. I think it's not even that your power carries. I think that you have the same intensity combined with the way that you snap your hips, bro. Like you have good technique.
Man, snap his hips,
man. Get out this
No, he does.
man.
Yo, I'm just being real with
you
them.
You can't be doing this shit doing a fucking face off, Mario. Disrespect.
I can respect the game.
He come in here and say
I can respect the fighter.
Power carry, and he plan on knocking you out, and you want to give him some goddamn respect.
I mean, he can think what he want. He can think what he want.
Bruh. Either you fight him or you dating him, nigga. You better pick a side.
You're fucking knocking him out, or you're rubbing his goddamn nuts.
All right, fuck you, Ant. I'm gonna fuck you up.
It's fucking right. You got to go in there with that intensity, because this man, you see how he punched. We did the film study on Patreon. Every punch, he winging it. Every punch. And let me tell you something. That's good, Mario, that he thinks he got power. Because that's what a dude on the outside would think. He on the outside looking in, and he think he got power. Because he ain't got the mind of a co-host. He ain't got a podcast mind. He don't see what we see. And we still see the probability of the other side. And what's the other side? Did he crack the Canadian? Did he crack the Canadian? How do we know how solid that Canadian's chin is? He's a Canadian. Name one Canadian outside of Lennox Lewis that's good.
He ain't really from Canada.
I know
He
y'all don't want me
Jamaican.
to say. Look, listen to this. I know y'all don't want to hear me say this, and that's fine because I can respect Ant, and at the same time, absolutely go in there and do my best to defeat this man. But I'm gonna be real. Y'all saw that slow mo. I think that takes out every single person in Border Wars. I don't see no one standing up to that punch.
They're not down Canadians.
Bruh, you seen it?
It might have, but I think Enrique goes down. I think Jose goes down. I think Ness probably go down.
You crazy.
American made. We built different.
Hey, yo, he gonna lose this fight. He gonna take a knee. Ant, you got him, Ant. You got him. You got him.
Man.
Hey, man. Mexicans don't take knees. Homeboy. Mexicans don't take knees. I'm telling you right now.
I thought you told your girl
Out of a thousand
your fucking
that's
knees.
gonna happen.
You bringing the
Ain't
belt
nobody
back.
taking it.
You
I am
told
bringing
your
the belt
family
back.
You bringing the belt back.
I'm bringing the belt back, but ain't nobody
drop
gonna
this nigga
disrespect
nuts
me when I
down.
beat this man.
I
And they're
can't
gonna
do this
say
shit,
that,
man.
Oh man,
I can't do
he
this shit,
beat
man.
Ant. Y'all gotta put respect because when I beat Ant, I want to be on that pound for pound list.
Bruh, he wasn't on a pound for pound. Get your
Because
ass.
y'all
You sound like Adrian Broner without fighting Mikey talking about you been on a pound for pound.
I'm just promoting the fight, bro. I'm just telling y'all the way it is. It's gonna be two.
Broner just promotes the fight. We want you
the two most underrated
How you
motherfuckers about
promoting
to
the
get
fucking
it
fight
in.
when you're rubbing the man back?
Ain't nobody rubbing nobody's back. I'm telling the people
You got the
listening,
fucking baby
sign
oil
up
out
to
and everything.
Patreon because this man can crack, and I ain't gonna fuck around with this man. He can crack, but he ain't gonna crack me.
Oh, I got the speed. I got the power. I
my
can crack.
opponent, bro.
I got
I'm
a
not
better
gonna go in
inside
there.
game.
And then y'all gonna say that it was an easy
I'm gonna
fight.
use
Y'all
my
gonna
ring
talk
IQ.
down.
Joey
Y'all gonna
Smith
say
on here
Ant
and
was an
gave you
easy
great
fight and try to
advice.
take it
The
away
same
from me.
advice that I gave you.
Yo, when I beat Ant, I'm a jam. I
game
better
plan
jump
in.
Ness on that pound for pound.
Mario, question from the chat. Have you tried your headgear on?
Oh yeah, of course. I've had my headgear for almost 5 years.
Okay, because Punchco says Mario's head is like a beach ball on a stick. Can't miss that head. Yo,
It's not even that big. What? It ain't even that big. What are you talking about?
Let me go to Jose in Canada.
Hey, I'll see you March 16th.
Yo, another Canadian that went down. Hence, further proving the theory that maybe he went down, right? My Canadian opponent went down. Anthony's Canadian opponent went down. Doomy's Canadian opponent went down. Man, get the fuck out of here. Canada ain't got
the theme right there, man. Big up Canada though. Big up Canada.
no chins.
Lame hoe, popping all this champagne, popping all this rose, getting money like Jose, chain cold, Norway, shorty wants that foreplay. I'm like, no way.
Killing that shit. OJ, you know what I'm talking about? What up? The WBC champion of the world. Fucking Jose from Canada.
Duck sauce
in the world. Yo, listen. First of all, Nats will address something really quickly. I said in the chat this morning, you agreed. Anybody take a clean shot from a guy like Enrique, they're going to sleep, man. That's
Not
just the truth.
anybody.
That's a clean shot, no look shot.
Yeah. Say it the way you wrote it in the chat. This is what he said in the chat. He said in the chat, if anyone takes a shot from Enrique that they don't see coming cleanly, they go down. That's a different story because that's like someone sneaking you, and that's what happened to you in your fight. I get it. But just saying that Enrique knocks anybody out, that's crazy. That's what Mario's trying to say.
Okay, that's not fair. That's not fair. Now I'm gonna have to take my boomerang because the bell's gonna ring me out. But let me just tell you one thing: the one advantage that I have over every fucking buddy is my fucking boxing brain. You heard a professional boxer today echo exactly what the fuck I told you guys.
He also echoed what fucking Mike said, and he also echoed what I said. Get out of here.
Right, man. Yeah, we said the exact same thing.
We're talking directly, specifically about the border wars, about the adrenaline, about this.
Yeah, that's what we talking about. That's what we talking about. He specifically told Mario do sparring.
And you already know, because you were listening before we with the callers. I told Mario, man, this guy he kind of slows down second, third round. So when you come out the first round, work off that jab. Don't throw a whole lot of offense. Let him blow his load. You come up midway second round and just start putting it on his ass. Exactly what I said.
Exactly, but you know what the problem is too? It's exactly what I said about Ant yesterday, and you heard when he called in today, and he talks a lot of nonsense. The one thing this guy cannot bullshit or lie about is his pedigree. This motherfucker is an athlete. He is an athlete. and that's his most dangerous fucking attribute in the ring. That's why
But like Joey said, all that running shit is good, but you gotta fucking spar. You gotta get that fucking in ring experience.
On the gut and in the head.
Yeah,
Head of gut. Where you want it? Head of gut.
It's track shape, then it's boxing shape.
Battle of wills. It's going to be a battle of wills, and Anthony knows what it's like being an athlete to have to dig in and get it done.
Yo,
Hopefully
Jose.
Mario can do the same.
Jose,
But
are you getting a bigger percentage of the purse because you doing all the promoting, man? What's up with your? Who you fighting? Who you fighting?
Yo, that's what I was going to say. I'm fighting Cruz, and the
Who is that guy?
Cruz is not an athlete. Cruz is naturally a couch.
Cruz got power though.
Cruz is like.
Who is Cruz? Who's Cruz?
I
don't even know who's Cruz, bro. Who's Cruz, bro? Like, has he called in before?
I ain't heard from Eric Cruz in a minute.
No, is he ducking? Is he fighting in the fight?
Have you seen the fucking BNB chat?
Let's go to who asked first? I don't even know who asked first, man. The first
no, bring back RMV, then Javi.
It was that order? RMV, talk.
Yeah, what I was trying to say earlier, I think I missed the words I used was misplaced. I didn't mean to say trash. I didn't mean to say trash fighters. I meant to say more people who don't have a superstar personality, who just, I'm gonna let my boxing do all the talking. My boxing do all the talking don't get you a lot of views. And what I'm seeing now is that the zone is setting these fighters up that really don't have personality, but just are good boxers. So all the zones looking for a good product. It's like Netflix. There may be movies on there that we never even heard of before, but just because it's on Netflix, we're gonna click on it. And that the fighters that don't have no personality, like a Canelo, like a Danny Jacobs, like a AJ, they benefit from the subscribers. So I think the people who don't have personality, your perfect platform is the zone. Now I say this, get your bag from the zone, but when you become a superstar, bounce from the zone and get that pay-per-view money, because what will never be, it will out-trump is a pay-per-view cash out. So that's what I was trying to say.
All right, RMV, thanks for calling in. Javier, talk to me.
Hey man, y'all niggas ain't finna disrespect Cruz like that. I'm gonna be Eddie Hearn for Cruz, man. Hey man, Cruz the best out here, man. Don't do that. Don't come on here disrespecting Cruz, man. He don't want to do all that talk. He just want to put hands on niggas. All right, Jose, you going to sleep? I already see it. Jose talk too much. He humping the air in videos and shit. Don't nobody want to see that, Jose. Get your goofy ass out of there, Jose. You finna get that work. And I'm here to watch it, nigga. It's gonna be great. Mario, god damn, you small. I ain't know you was that small, Mario. Like I know you was short, nigga. But you might be part midget. You might be an elf or some shit. Cause Mario look like Mario. You got like baby on.
Hey yo, Mario look like a gnome.
Yo.
I watched that nigga.
Man, you're a hater. You're a hater, Javi.
Ain't going nowhere. He was.
I'll tell you what though.
He said you squatted and you ain't moved.
Motherfucker.
Caps, bro.
Yeah. All right.
Mario ain't moving. What he struggling with? That nigga ain't moving. Like. He cheating.
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna be in that ring March 16th while you're at the fucking B&B eating fucking Cheetos.
Hey, I'm eating my Cheetos, but you ain't gonna be shit with.
He's gonna be a judge. We gonna need him. He might even have to work some of the video equipment because it's gonna be like 4.
Man, unless you want that aerial shot. That motherfucker's 7'5".
That's exactly what he could be. He could be the aerial shot. He could be on the ring. I mean, it all depends on the positioning of the cameras.
He talked too much shit to have a camera in his hand.
He could also switch. We need a switcher. We need someone to go to and from what camera deserves the action to be the main focal point. But
we're trying to get him to be a producer.
Yeah. That's what I said. We need people on the back end, man. We're gonna go out to NO, and obviously the NL.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you a young fella, and he comes from the Magnolia.
What up, NO?
Whoa. Man, what's good, bro? I see we talking about the press conferences and shit, and I mean, it is what it is, like, you know. So I think the AJ and Miller got more push behind that one, you know what I'm saying? I think that one,
Cause you know, Canelo and Danny Jacobs, you know, that ain't really their style. Like, you know, to give you nothing entertaining. So I don't even think this is a real show, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know that two professionals, like, you know what I'm saying. And Miller, you know, Miller, he just on some wild shit. You got AJ, you got Miller freestyling and shit, and all this, and one trying to look a motherfucker down like a stamp, and the other one just saying the same shit over and over. But they did it, though. I give them a prize. They went in there and did it. But man, them boys better not try to start no rap career. You heard me? And say, bro, I want to tell you, man, y'all heard something about Sean Porter talking about everybody ducking him?
Cut it.
You heard that shit?
Cut it.
I definitely didn't hear that, but I
heard he said I got a title, you can't duck belts.
Yeah, I don't know because why they ain't want that Spence fight. I mean, I got interviews on that, but let's go to Jose on the boomerang.
What up, Jose?
Yo, guys, what up? Yo, I was just gonna say it here, man, on air. You know, Javier called. I'm saying it right now, man. It's disrespectful to look past an opponent, but you know what? That's how little respect I have for mine. So I'm calling out my next challenge right now on the fucking air. It's Javi. I want you, Javi. I'm gonna be the fucking Mayweather against Big Show. I'm gonna fucking show you.
I thought he was about to call out Mike.
The pen is mightier than the sword, and I will fucking beat you without even fucking having to knock you down. You won't even be able to catch.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
You gotta fight though, man. You gotta fight
In
though
your
first.
underwear, he's gonna have a big Loco Science fucking song he'll be wearing because
Yo, he said he could fight Javi's.
And lucky for you, Javi, I like them big, baby. I like them big girls. So you know what? You're next. That's all I got. Kept dropping the mic. Peace.
Yo, he said Javi is so not a problem that he could fight Cruz and turn around and fight Javi on that same day.
Dude, that's all the publicity stunt. That's like, you know, Tyson Fury saying, "Oh, let's spar Big Baby for 10,000, 100,000." Like, we'll never sanction that fight. He's gonna have to balloon up in weight to make it possible, and it'll slow him down, and his game plan will be out the window. He's just talking. He's trying to promote. That's all he's doing, and we're not gonna fall for it. We don't fall.
I thought you called him out though, didn't you?
Who? Call Jose out?
Yeah.
Why would I call Jose out?
I thought you called Jose out. My bad.
Nah, I never called out.
Javi say you get that Jose got 2 boomerangs, so he needs a response.
I don't think Jose got 2 boomerangs. So Javi stop making shit up. But Deej deserves his boomerang, and that's who we going to.
All right.
We ain't gotta hear that fucking intro again.
Yeah, got some explaining to do here. So, like, when I'm talking about people getting buried in the UK, I'm just trying to think. When people say anything sort of near despicable in the UK, I'm just trying to think back to who probably would have said the worst thing last. I'm thinking maybe David Hayes said that he was going to hospitalize Bellew. People just lost their shit. Like, they didn't want this fight to happen. When Tyson Fury was saying things which were borderline homophobic and sexist, the guy lost his titles instantly. Couldn't fight again for some violation. I think he got banned the same time as his cousin, and his cousin got title shots and everything. So when we've got these sort of talkers over here, they like to have control of them. We've never really had a proper Colin McGregor type character over here. We've kind of buried them, really. And I think this is what's happened to Davis to a certain extent as well. You know, he's been really entertaining for the quality of fighter that he is. I think he's got a bigger profile than he actually sort of deserves when it comes to his skill level. But I think in America, he'd be more embraced.
Cut it.
Hey, we got a super chat from Bama Bo. Don't do this, Mario. Please, fake an injury. You need to lose weight and fight around 185. This man is about to knock your head gear back to Mexico.
Yeah, I seen Bo talking shit in the chat. That's fucked up. All right, Bo, that's cool, bro. Why don't you put that money on Ant, right? Get them minus odds that you want, and we'll see how it work out for you.
Oh, here we go. The betting lines will be open.
They're gonna be
Let's see who
open.
come with
So
favorite. Let's see who be the underdog.
So I'm assuming Ant, based on Bo's comments, Ant's got to be what, like a minus 550, minus 600, based on his presumption. So I'm short. I'm not gonna lie, I'm short. Javi didn't say nothing nobody already knew, but I promise you, I'm gonna be the strongest one in the ring.
Bruh, stop giving it away. Yo, the beauty of the underdog is the unknown, and you keep trying to prove to them what you are when they already got you as the underdog.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Leave the pressure on the fake big puncher who been punching Canadians all his life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's the puncher in the fight. So yeah,
let him be the puncher. Let him be the guy who's supposed to be the A side, the guy that only has one fight, only fought a Canadian. Had to be forced into this fight because it was a vacant title was the only reason he signed. Like, yo, the world doesn't know the truth. They get caught up in the flash, and his little Joshua-like muscles, and they fall for that. But you gotta let that pressure be on him and do you. You got no pressure. They think
well said.
Elm says to give his boomerang status to Javi.
Tell Elms I ain't accepting that. We got NO to
That check this out, bro. This building world shit got me hyped, dog. I think I'm gonna have to be somebody advisor or something, man. Everybody have to go through me, bro. Unless you the promoter, right? I'm the advisor.
Hey, yo, right now.
Let's run this shit, but can't nothing happen without me, you hear me? You dig?
Yo, right now, since it ain't no Bob Arum out here, I'm actually playing Al Heyman, baby. I'm promoting and advising. I'm managing. I'm doing everything.
No, you violating the Ali Act. You violating the Ali Act.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I gotta do it. I gotta do it because it ain't no Bob come out here yet saying that I'm doing that.
Now, next, hold up. Now, what you gonna do? Now, somebody, every time something works, they got a copycat. Somebody gonna try to copycat this shit. You gonna get sued. I'm trying to help you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And look, this is another thing, man. I think we need to make an all-star tag out this shit. Like all the other podcasts and this shit. Like Eli Setback and us. Look, put Mario in there with Setback. Let him punch Setback up and shit.
Yo, I think Mario fuck Setback up. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hold on. Setback was on his. Yo, Setback.
T-Street and Barbershop, all them motherfuckers.
Yo, Setback was on his Twitter the other day talking about how he was sparring and his sparring partner. He said, yo, the dude I was sparring was talking all that shit and he quit after a minute. That's crazy. Setback, put that. Don't sleep on Setback.
Set it up.
NL, thanks for calling in. Javi, I'm gonna fuck with you because I fuck with you, but stop trying to put pressure on all this fake ass extra boomerangs and shit. You better learn how to talk when it's your turn.
Nah, Elms.
Y'all, chill out.
Nah. You come in here coming at dudes.
Stop it.
Where they at? All right, we gonna wait. Wait, I'm now because the fans. Where's that? Someone show me.
If y'all want Javier to come back on, push Y in the chat. If you don't want him on, push N. Simple as that.
If you don't know who Javi is, then just don't put nothing.
The first 20 win. We got one Y.
They stacking. They want him because they think he ducking Jose.
The outro because it ain't gonna be enough. It ain't gonna be enough. Look, I see all them no's. Why you ain't saying that?
6,
N. Now, there is more wide.
13, 14.
Okay, Javi, go for it.
16.
Yeah, Javi, what you, Javi?
I'm a Y.
Yo, his hand
requested in this motherfucker.
19.
Swell.
20. Nah,
y'all just swole this motherfucker's head up so bad.
Look at Javi. Damn, look at Javi. They love Javi in the chat.
Pass that nigga around like a Canadian prostitute. Don't do that. Don't do that, young man. Don't do it. We gonna run through you like Enrique ran through you with that hook. We gonna go through you. I ain't playing with you, Jose. Don't do that. Now we gonna hurt you. I don't wanna hurt you, man. Jose, you doing all that humping in the air and videos and shit. We not playing that, Jose. Cause Jose, I saw you take that shit from Enrique and you look like you don't like that pressure. You don't like when a nigga hit you. You don't like when nigga put them hands on you, Jose. I ain't with all that now, Jose. I don't want to hurt you, young man. I don't care if you older than
See
me.
what
You
I'm
still a
saying?
young
He
man
ain't
to me.
said
When I whoop
shit.
your ass, it's gonna be bad.
Just repeat.
Yo, how did Javi go from Jose's biggest fan, texting him
Whatever that nigga fan, don't play with
and
me.
loving him?
Midget man. Hey, you the real Ant-Man. You the real Ant-Man. Stop it, little guy. I ain't doing it with you either. Ant gonna have my business with you. We gonna get Ant to
You know
go.
what? I'm gonna put Elms on my. I'm gonna put Jose on my motherfucking shoulders, and we're gonna knock your ass out.
That's the problem. Y'all niggas gotta get on shoulders like a Megatron. Nigga, I am a Megatron. Fuck you talking about, nigga.
So now
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Now he want to fight Jose and Mario.
All I know is we staying in the same B&B. Watch me fucking throw your
Shut that
toothbrush
soft ass shit up, man.
in the toilet and not tell your ass.
Damn.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. But on that note, all right, folks. Nesta Gibbs, Instagram, Twitter, NestGTO. Hit me up on any form of social media if you want to get on this suite, so I can lock it in before we get to Texas. And yeah.
Follow me on IG at Gross1911 or on Twitter at Gross2312. I'm definitely gonna keep my toothbrush very, very close to me. I'm just trip to Dallas, not letting my toothbrush out of my sight. These guys play game with toothbrush. I take this shit to a whole nother level.
I don't play those. What is that?
Kid games.
Nah. That's like college games.
Yeah, you from my damn toothbrush. I'm gonna piss in your goddamn shoe or some shit. It's gonna be some
Man,
shit
ain't
going
nobody
on.
worried about your toothbrush.
All right, yeah, you from
Yeah.
my toothbrush, nigga. Give me shit. Yeah, but man, but I don't really give a damn about who won the press conference. Don't really matter to me. Ready to see these guys in the ring. Also, Border Wars, yeah, man, ready for it. Hopefully, we can get that sweet in Dallas, and yeah, take it to the next level. TBV.
Yo.
All day.
You can find me at Ron GFIQ. I'm gonna go head over to that Laura Ortiz weigh-in. If you guys haven't seen any of the videos yet, go over to the YouTube channel. We got Ness ducking King Kong Ortiz in the ring. I just put a Chris Algieri interview. He fought Errol Spence and he fought Amir Khan. What do you know? Those both guys have fights. Ask his opinions and questions
They
on that.
calling you Ron the Dunn.
And in addition to all this, I also got stuff I got to upload from Clarissa Shields' press conference, Canelo Jacobs' press conference. I got Peter Quillen interviews I got to post, Big Baby Miller 101s. Look, just stay by the YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, hit the bell icon. Also, shout out to Joey Spencer for jumping on the show. It was cool having him on. So thank you for giving the fellow lads some tips for Border Wars.
Yeah, big shout out to Joey Spence. Big shout out to Ron for making that happen. Big shout out to Ron for everything he's been doing this week. Fuck this week for everything he's been doing last month.
Dick rotten. What the fuck is this shit gonna happen?
Yo, no, Daz, stop it.
This motherfucker, shout out Ron for all his hard work every fucking day. Though I do it and his dick riding. All right, whatever. We ain't a team apparently. We don't support our people. All right, that's how I see it. All right. Anyway, at Mario Mugia on Twitter, at Mario Mugia on Instagram. If you think I'm gonna lose, put that money up on Ant. Go ahead. I dare you. I fucking dare you to do it. We got the house. Not me, but Ness is the house. Put that money up on Ant and lose your fucking house. How about that? All right. We gonna get it. TBV Border Wars, March 16th. Ain't playing. About to hit the gym right now.
Peace. We got this motherfucker. Peace.
Boom.
Yes, on the phone.
Waiting on me. I was.
Oh yeah. We got the Patreon show betting only, man. If you want to win some money with TBV this week, if you're not a Patreon member, go ahead and sign up now.
I really need a win, Mike, because I don't want to get like we got.
We're gonna do this, man.
We got 2 weeks to win, and I got March 9th.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying, man.
My money right before we get to Dallas.
I want to have a little extra, you know what I'm saying? Weed money in Dallas. I want to have the motherfucking different flavors.
The last time I went to Texas, I'm putting Mario on blast again. Last time I went to Texas, Mario was like, "Nah, don't worry, Ness. I know you smoke. I got you." Never showed up, so I had to smoke my fingers.
How'd
that make it fingers, man?
the Maidana Broner. I did not. No.
You must got like the Wolverine healing ability.
Hey,
when
the shit I'm bringing is from Mike. Yo, you didn't graduate from college. This man graduated from college. That's a big time thing, man.
My degree came, man. I would go get it, but it's in the other room and shit.
Oh,
man.
bruh.
I don't care if it's for Mike or for Javi. Like, I'm still smoking that shit.
Hey, you saw there's a, I'll tell you guys after.
Peace.
Peace.